Hey guys, I'm Comire, this is Start and Select, and today we're talking about Splatoon. For those who don't know what that is, here's an obligatory debriefing. Splatoon is a third-person shooter video game where the goal is to cover the most ground in your team's paint. It's 4-on-4 paintballing where the goal is not to kill people but to mark your territory like a hyperactive dog with a sprinkler system where its private parts are supposed to be. There was recently a Nintendo Direct showing off more aspects of Splatoon, such as different weapon types, different maps, the multiplayer modes, the single player mode, including me outfitted in, oh dear God, what's wrong with his eyes? Personal customization, the clothes you can buy, the shops where you can buy those clothes, amiibo challenges, Inkopolis, the hub city which contains all of that stuff, and if you've ever seen Nintendo Land, you know what that's all about. Future updates for the game, more on that later on, and the oh so confusingly sexual hip sway of a 14-year-old child. Yeah.
Okay, so what caught my eye was the focus on your clothes. I mean, not your clothes specifically, I mean the clothes you wear in the game. I mean, look at that! I've seen less random shirts on Etsy.com.
But your clothes or gear is tied to special attributes about your player called abilities. Each piece of gear will have randomly assigned abilities on it, and you're only allowed up to 4 abilities on your person at any one time, shared between your hat, shirt, and shoes.
But the number of ability slots on each piece of gear can be increased if you give a homeless man a recycled Mario power-up from a cancelled Philips CDI game.
Straight away, I have questions of whether this will lead people to wearing gear based on whether they like them, or whether they have the right ability or not. You see, an eternal question plaguing the Pokemon competitive scene is whether you should battle with the Pokemon you like, or with the Pokemon with the best stats and attacks.
So what will this game be about? The things that you respond to? Visually? The things that you find cute, or cool, or tough, or smart, or beautiful to you as an individual? Or will it be about the stats, and the numbers, and the breeding that baseball cap 45 damn times because the first 44 didn't have the right IDs?
Who knows? Maybe having abilities assigned at random will keep things interesting. Maybe limiting them to 4 in the same way you can only have a Pokemon team of 6 will make it so that no matter what your loadout, there'll always be a combination out there that can counter you. Only time will tell.
Nintendo also announced and launched a global test fire demo. There were 3 1-hour sessions on May 9th where you and 7 other people would play Splatoon's Turf War multiplayer mode from around the world. I just finished playing it. I had a fishing good time.
I played an early build of the game at EGX 2014 late last year, and I wrote a summary of it on my site, The Compulsive Squire. I'll put the link in the description below. As true then as it was now, the simple objective of cover as much of the ground in your colour as you can just became so easily overshadowed by the instant metagame tactics that come into play. It's like in Papers, Please, when the game stops being about following the rules to get the cash and the rewards, but more about picking a faction and doing what's right for your family and your country. Or it's like when you're playing Hearts and you're less focused on winning and you just want to screw over Pauline on the left as much as you can. Go away, Pauline! Do you start firing your ink everywhere? Spreading your colour but maybe giving away your position? Or do you turn into a squid, the form that can make you travel through the ink almost invisibly and at a higher speed but you can't attack? As the squid, maybe you zip around trying to find areas to cover with ink, or maybe you hide and wait and sneak up on the other team. Splatoon makes you think as much as any other shooter out there, and a fair amount of it will be based on interpreting what the ink in front of you says and whatever your main weapon is. The global test fire had 4 weapons available: Splat Shot and Splat Shot Junior. They basically submachine guns where you shoot heads out there. The Splat Roller, a close quarters novelty paint roller, and the Splat Charger, a charge-to-fire sniper rifle. The roller is good for covering the ground of your ink, while the sniper is good for killing opponents. The Splat Shots, although they take a couple seconds longer, are good for both attacking and colouring. A good team layout I saw was a roller for painting the map, a gunner to cover him, a sniper in a high place for sniping, and another gunner to repaint enemy ink and scope additional kills. I like to be in the last one. I basically get to get in a fight while convincing myself I'm helping the team. I'm like the Vegeta of Splatoon. That's a terrible joke. And remember, killing opposing team members does nothing for your actual score. You could lead with 9 kills to 2 deaths, but still lose with a 6% ink margin.
I guided. Needless to say, the game's motion controls, they take some getting used to. I mean, every tiny move with the gamepad, it shifts your entire worldview so much, and it can be quite disorientating at first. And watch out when you find yourself naturally just twisting around, trying to look at the TV while your gamepad's there, just chilling out, hanging out with your right kidney.
But you can also translate your view of the analog stick and center the camera by pressing a button, so using that and the one-to-one motion made the whole thing a lot easier to handle. Overall, I had a splashing good time, and I'm looking forward to its release on May 29th. You see, a question I have is to do with Splatoon's main selling point. You know, other than the clothes you wouldn't even find on Redbubble. I mean, it's the online multiplayer, it relies on it. So that means that it relies on at least 7 other people being online when you're ready. So that means it's going to need an online community behind it to keep it going. Now, let's be honest, gamers can sometimes have ADD when it comes to these things. I mean, I tried to kick on Assassin's Creed Black Flag the other day and its online was more dead than the look in his eyes. Is he looking at me? Thankfully, with all the talk of DLC and extra stages, weapons, gear and multiplayer modes, they'll be able to extend this game's shelf life much further than just a year or 2. And if you want to see how DLC can breathe new life into a Nintendo game, well, just look at Mario Kart 8's 200cc class. Heads up, it's insane. So until next time, I've been Comire, that's the refresh button, this is Start and Select, thank you and good night.